Oh.
Boom. You can call me Left Hook Larry from now on. There you go.
So is Conor McGregor really retired? No. The answer is no. I mean, he might be, but he isn't. He might be, but he isn't. Trust me. He's not retired. I mean, we all know the story of the shepherd who took his sheep to a mountain and would call up everyone in his village and say that a wolf is gonna fuck him up and his sheep's up. But of course, there was no wolf. So after a couple of times, the villagers got up and stopped coming to the rescue. But when the wolf actually showed up, no one gave a flying fuck. I mean, when Conor said the first time that he's going to retire, people lost their marbles. Even his head coach of all people sent out a tweet, a little goodbye tweet to him. Guess what? He wasn't retired and everyone looked like a fool. So, if he's really retired, F's in the chat for him. Because no one really gave a shit about him this time. But, do I think he's retired? No. It is really obvious that I don't think so. It's right in the title. Why would I be talking about his next fight if I thought he was retired? Let's talk, who is he gonna fight next? Now, booking a fight for Conor McGregor will be a hard job every time he fights. Not because you want big sales, because no matter what, he is really gonna sell big, but because he is actually the face of UFC. He's the biggest star that the company has ever produced. So everyone has an opinion and everyone wants to undermine his success a little bit. And by undermining his success, they're kind of undermining UFC. So it's a hard job to book a fight for Conor McGregor. So that no one can really undermine his success before the fight, premise gots to be that Conor's taking a risk. Now the fights which came up recently was Masvidal, Usman, and Anderson Silva. Now the Anderson Silva fight is stupid. That's not happening. I mean, that is just not happening. That is stupid to its highest level. That just does not make any sense. Usman fight is not gonna happen, obviously, because Usman is booked, number one, and number two, Usman is just way too bigger than Conor McGregor. And there is a really, really small possibility that Conor McGregor beats Usman, so that fight is not happening. The third fight, Jorge Masvidal, well, Jorge Masvidal is kind of sitting out right now because he is being a little salty with Dana White, so maybe that fight is not happening either. So which fight is gonna happen? Now Justin's name came up big time recently, but that's not gonna happen because now he's the number one contender and he's going ahead to fight Khabib, and he's booked. Of course, that means Khabib is booked, which is also a really big fight. I mean, the Masvidal fight would be the biggest fight the UFC can make right now for Conor and for the company in general, but that's not happening. And Khabib is booked, obviously, because Gaethje is booked. So who is next? Tony. Now Tony is not happening because Tony fight is gonna be a suicide for Conor McGregor. And I mean, there is not a possibility that Conor McGregor beats Tony Ferguson. Call me crazy, but I mean, there is a possibility, but there's a really small possibility there. That fight is not happening. That's just too big of a risk for Dana White to take. RDA called him out. Well, that's not happening either. That's really not happening either. Uncle Chael thinks that might happen, but that's not gonna happen. So there's one fight. There's one fight that always makes sense for Conor McGregor to be in, and that fight is Nathan Diaz. A Nate Diaz fight always makes sense for Conor McGregor right now because, I mean, it's gonna be a trilogy, and you know, to end the rivalry, this fight is important. That is gonna happen sometime in future. That might happen next, but that's not a really good fight. I mean, that's not a really good fight right now. Why? Because Conor McGregor, whenever he fights anyone, that fight is in focus out of everything else. Now, Nate Diaz is coming out of a loss. That does not mean that his edge has been not edged, what? But whatever. That does not mean that his edge has been softened, but that is an easy way to think that. So that fight is not happening either, because whenever Conor is coming off of a win, his opponent will also be coming off of a win as well. So that's not happening. So what is next? I mean, everyone wants to underplay him. Everyone wants to underplay the big star and the big company. So Conor McGregor is not fighting Diaz. So in my opinion, what's gonna happen? In my opinion, and it actually should happen, Dustin Poirier. That's right. Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier should go at it one more time. It's been half a decade since they last fought, and they're both really different fighters. And come on, Dustin Poirier has been grinding. Dustin Poirier has been grinding for a long time now. So Dustin Poirier should get that Conor money, get the red panty night.
Yeah,
It's red panty night when you sign to fight me, eh?
And
Back at your
yes,
back at home with your
Dustin
wife.
Poirier fight makes a lot of sense. Dustin versus Notorious one. What? Notorious. So yeah, Notorious one versus a Diamond 2. Well, that might not happen, but that should happen, in my opinion. And in my opinion, that might not happen, but it really should happen. That's the best fight for Conor McGregor to make. That's exciting. It is risky, so that's one reason that it might not happen. Let's see. I mean, it should happen, but it's really risky. So who knows what happens next for Conor McGregor? Maybe he fights Brock Lesnar. Okay, I'm kidding. Me jokey, lol, bye. Also subscribe and be nice in the comments. And if you do not like my video, go make one of your own. Bye.